I put all these elements together to make a 50th birthday backdrop setup, then keep watching. We're going to put together this shimmer wall, sequin wall, whatever you want to call it. It's gold and it's from Amazon. I guess a company called Q City. This is the box that it came in. So we're going to put this together. This is 30 panels. I won't be recording all 30 panels being put together, but kind of just like how I'm just going to follow the instructions and see how it goes. I've never had a wall like this where it wasn't like the grid, it was more of like one piece in the back. The shimmer wall came with these, like, I don't know if you can see this, like these X's and little flat bars that, well, I'll show you how they go in the holes. And then it also came with like these hooks, which I don't know what those are for. And then their own zip ties, and then also like replacement sequins. Connectors look like, so either you can connect four panels, or you can connect two panels together. So let's see how they work. So the first instruction says to like turn everything face down. So this is the sequence side and this is the back. So it says put everything back side up. Then there's these little arrows. You guys can see that there's these little arrows that point up. So the direction that they're pointing up, that is the top. So I'm gonna line up these arrows. So these arrows are up, and then these arrows are up. And so when we're connecting, if this is the very, very top, then I'm just going to use one of these two-prong crossbar, and you just pop it in. It takes a little thumb strength. Okay, that hurts. And then I'm going to pop it in. Okay. So there, that's that. And then where these connect right here, I'm going to use one of these four-pronged ones because I'm going to go like down like I want it 6 feet tall, so I'm going to go down like 2 panels and do like two rows with 6. 2 rows across with 2 panels across with 6 down once I put it on the stand. And then for the zip ties, I'll show you. I'm going to connect these to the stand that I have. And I hope these are sturdy enough. They look really thin, so it's kind of like scaring me a little bit. But yeah, I'm going to hook these up. So let's go over. I'm going to put more of these together, and then after I do that, I'll show you guys how I add it to the stand. This right here is the chair that's being rented. This is our medium or royalty size chair. It's a white, it's a little off-white, but I just call it white and gold because it pretty much looks white, has a lot of details. Does need a little retouch on some of the paint, on the gold color. So I'm trying to find wood paint. If you guys know any wood paint that I could use for this, that kind of matches that. And then this is the stand that we're going to be using. It's called I think a gondola. I got it from Uline. It came in a 2-pack, so there's 2 of these. So this one and then the one over here. So, and these are like 2 feet by 6 feet, I believe, as far as height. So that's why I used 2 of them. And what I'm going to do is put 2 panels here and then go all the way down with the panels in one set, so like the 2 by 6, and then in the middle, because when these are side by side there is somewhat of maybe like a 1-inch gap, I'm going to just put some freestanding panels that'll just connect the 2 stands together. So I'm going to put this back on the mount so you guys can see how I attached the panels to the stand. Sliding it through the back like that. So you can see that. And then I'm going to put the top of the stand on this side through here. I put the like flat prong right here. And then I have the zip ties at the top. So I haven't tightened it because I want to just make sure that the 6 panels are going to fit. But I think, I think it will because it is a 2x6 frame and backdrop. So backdrop frame. And then here's the crossbar in the middle that holds all 4 panels together. So I think next time I'm going to just start with the 2 panels to get on. And then for sure, I'll probably add more of the little crossbar things like right here because this is kind of loose. So add a crossbar there. And then maybe right here, put a zip tie. Just so it's not, in transport, it's not doing that. And I think this may go outside, so I really don't want it like shaking and blowing off the frame if this is gonna go outside. So I'm gonna continue to put the panels on. I probably won't film that part, but I'm gonna continue to put the panels on and then start blowing up balloons. Now that I have my backdrop put together, I'm going to start on my balloons, starting with my 5-inch. As you guys know, if you've been watching my channel, I always start with my 5-inch or mini balloons because it does make the process when I get on site a lot easier. So I'm going to start by blowing up my 5-inch balloons to about 3 to 4 inches. And I'm trying to make them the same size. I'm also taking 2 pairs of the balloons and making quads like this. I'm making about 16 of these quads, so total for each color. And then for the white, I'm making the same 16-inch quads. That's just my formula for doing my mini balloons because the one thing I hate is blowing them up on site. So once I have all of my mini balloons paired off, I twist them together and 3 or 4 times and turn them into quads like that. Next, I'm going to move on to my, still the same color with the Glam Gold, but I am going to be making clusters. So I'm starting off with the 18-inch, and I'm making pairs of those. And those are going to obviously be more than just a quad. A quad is 4 balloons, but I'm going to turn these into clusters, which is 6 to 8 balloons. So I dropped that one, but I try and do 2 by 2 instead of blowing up each balloon individually. It really does make the process go faster, and I like to round them out on a hard surface. Once I do have my clusters, I believe I made a total of 6 clusters for the gold. I'm going to twist those together, and then I made, I think, 6 clusters of 8 for the white color that I'm going to be using, which you'll see when I set it up on site. And then even with the 3rd pair that you're going to add, all you have to do is still, tie your necks together. But you really just don't have to twist as much when you add it to the other colors or the other quad. You just twist it maybe 2 times, and that's your cluster of 6. Now that we're on site, I'm going to fill in that gap by putting the panels of the gold sequin wall together. And then I'm going to use those attachments that I showed you earlier in the video to connect the middle section together. Because there was probably about a 2-inch gap in between the 2 stands that I had. So that's what I used to fill it in. Next, I'm going to put together my section. So I'm starting with the gold first on the bottom, and I'm tying the necks of the Glam Gold to the white. And then I'm trying to figure out a way to attach it to the stand because I don't know how many people are coming. I don't know, how often people are going to be walking by because I believe the stand was like next to the hallway where the bathroom was. So if people did bump into this, I didn't want the balloons to kind of fly, like fly away, at least not on the bottom. So I'm trying to tie them with the 260 to the bottom of the stand. And then I'm going to add gold to this section at the top. So that way I have, so I'm going to add gold to this section at the top. So that way I have a full pattern of gold, white, gold. And then when I move on to my second half, which is going to be my top half of the garland, because I'm only putting balloons on the left side of the wall. So I just want, I'm doing the section method because I just want to make sure that I have enough balloons to go from top to bottom. And my second half, or my top half, is going to be in an alternating pattern as well, but opposite. So it's going to be white, gold, and then white, which that once it's put together with the other section, it'll just be an alternating of gold, white, gold all the way to the top. And then of course I'm going to use my 5-inch minis to fill in any gaps. I'm really trying to come up with a like specific formula for certain size garlands, but we'll see how that goes. Moving on to putting up this birthday sign, it's going to be linked. This is going to be linked in the description as well as the hooks that I'm using. So I'm trying to hook it to the circles that you saw in the back of the sequin wall, but I'm also trying to make it even so it doesn't look off center or tilted in any way. And then I needed to test out the sign, so I'm not in the frame, but you guys will see when I turn the birthday sign on, because there is a switch to turn it to 3 different colors. So I think it was a warm white and then a neon color. And then this is the backdrop that I custom made for the party along with our medium chair. And then I wanted to show you guys a view of the outside of the venue before we move in to see the final backdrop. So this is the final backdrop look. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Don't forget to comment. Bye bye.